My sister claimed my husband wasn't a real man during our family dinner, so I stopped the $800 monthly support we'd been providing her. Months later, after she was evicted, she showed up intoxicated at our home and was arrested. My husband, Matthew, operates a thriving YouTube channel focused on retro gaming and tech reviews, earning roughly $180,000 annually. We just returned from an incredible 2-week Japan trip, fully funded by Matthew, including first-class flights, luxurious hotels in Tokyo and Kyoto, and memorable experiences like private tours and upscale dining. We were thrilled to share photos and stories at our regular Sunday family dinner at my parents' house, where Matthew showcased a video on Japanese arcade culture that had already gained 150,000 views in 3 days. My sister Alice, 28, a single mother to her 6-year-old son Jeremy, seemed genuinely curious at first, asking about our trip's destinations, cuisine, and costs. Matthew, always generous, shared that we were considering a Europe trip next year and wanted to include family members, emphasizing how sharing experiences with loved ones enhances their value. Alice got excited, noting that Jeremy had never flown and how enriching it would be for him to explore new cultures. My parents also grew enthusiastic about visiting places they'd long dreamed of seeing. As Matthew explained how his channel's recent success and lucrative sponsorships enabled these plans, prioritizing memories over possessions, Alice's mood shifted. Her expression soured, and she began asking sharp questions about his work hours and whether he felt awkward about his job. Matthew explained he typically works 6 to 8 hours daily, creating content, editing, managing social media, handling sponsorships, and running his business from home with flexible hours. When Alice asked if he missed a real job with co-workers, Matthew laughed, saying he loved blending his gaming passion with technical skills, connecting with a global audience. He declined traditional tech jobs because his YouTube income far exceeded their offers, and he valued the creative control of entrepreneurship. My parents were impressed, asking how he grew his audience and turned a hobby into a career. My dad remarked he wished such opportunities existed in his youth, but Alice grew increasingly bitter, her face tightening whenever Matthew mentioned his earnings or achievements. When he discussed his professional-grade equipment and plans to hire an editor to manage his growing workload, Alice snapped. She accused him of sitting at home playing games while I supported him with a real job, mocking him as a glorified stay-at-home, pretending to be successful with fleeting internet fame. The table fell silent, and Matthew flushed. But before he could respond, Alice continued, saying, "Real men work in offices, contribute to society, and don't make childish videos for loners in basements." I stood up, furious, and told Alice she was being rude and that Matthew worked harder than most, with a legitimate, successful business. I pointed out he'd just offered to fund a costly family vacation, yet she insulted him instead of showing gratitude. Alice doubled down, claiming she was just honest, and that Matthew lived in a fantasy, not the real world. She said his example was harmful to Jeremy and my child, implying YouTube wasn't a real career and would collapse soon. My parents intervened, calling her behavior inappropriate. My mom was ashamed of Alice's attack on someone so generous, and my dad praised Matthew's success, demanding an apology. Alice persisted, calling Matthew weak and not a real man for working behind a screen, saying I deserved someone with a traditional job. Matthew quietly said, "I can't tell you the full story in short. To watch the full story, click the related link below."